It has been said, better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. My name is Seohyun Lee. I am a North Korean defector who gave up this certain opportunity to thrive in hell and instead fled my native country to face certain uncertainty. My experience as a North Korean defector might surprise you. I did not grow up in extreme poverty. I was not coerced into human trafficking. Nor do I have horrific stories of being a political prisoner in North Korea. My father was a senior-level government officer for the North Korean regime, and his loyal commitment to the nation and the leader allowed our family to live in the capital, Pyongyang, a privilege as North Koreans. Like most people in North Korea, I had no doubts about the regime because I was brainwashed. I truly believed what our leader said, that our country is the envy of the world. Yes, I was living in a bubble. Not of my choosing, I wasn't even aware of it, but a bubble nonetheless. What about you? Have you ever considered a possibility that you may be living in a bubble, regardless of your politics or religion, regardless of the color of your skin, or your perceived status in life? And what if the bubble, the truth I had accepted without question, is in some way not different from yours, although yours probably doesn't include political oppression and torture? For the North Korean elites, the petty perks come with strings, very long strings. The higher one is on the ladder, the more severe the intrusion in our privacy. The baseline is the tapping of our phones and homes. The regime crushes dissenters and critics. It would not be an exaggeration to say that they even count tears during a forced mourning. The fear of certain punishment is so strong that even after more than 7 years, my mother, who now lives about 6,000 miles away from North Korea, still whispers into my ear when saying something critical about the Kim dictators. I will never forget the day that I unplugged from the regime. It was like the movie, The Matrix. In that movie, Morpheus is the character who helped Neo, the hero of the movie, unplug from the artificial computer-generated world. My Morpheus was a real-life Chinese taxi driver. He helped me unplug from my bubble and open my eyes during a taxi ride. At the time, I was studying finance at Dongbei University of Finance and Economics in China. During that ride, the taxi driver pointed to a picture of Deng Xiaoping, a Chinese leader, hanging from a rearview mirror, and told me how his economic policies reformed China and lifted so many people out of poverty. Then he asked, 为什么你们朝鲜金正日不像我们中国一样改革开放，让百姓吃饱呢？ Why haven't the North Korean leaders done the same and instead left their people to starve? I couldn't reply to him. I simply had no answer. With logic too simple to question. The taxi driver had burst my bubble, the bubble that has surrounded me in my entire life. For the first time, I realized that my life wasn't so enviable. The certainty of my life and the world around me, thanks to my Chinese Morpheus, began to crumble. The crumbling was completed when I witnessed my college roommate, Seohyun Lee, my best friend, dragged away from our dorm room while studying in China. In December 2013, Seohyun and I were on our way to cafeteria to have lunch after morning classes. North Korean agents showed up abruptly at our dorm and took Seohyun away. I never saw her again. I later learned that Seohyun and her entire family were sent to a political prison camp after her father was executed for being associated with Kim Jong Un's uncle, Chang Song-taek. Seohyun's last message still lingers in my heart. She messaged me, "I don't think I can come back to school. Could you pack up my personal items and keep them for me? I'm texting you inside of the bathroom at a highway rest stop. I'm going to throw away my phone now." My whole body started to shake when I read the last sentence. I was terrified. It was totally surreal. And it was at this moment that so many questions floated in my mind. Why is an innocent person being punished? Seohyun was a model citizen of North Korea. Even if her father had committed a crime, why is her entire family being punished? And is my family needs to be charged for the crimes that we did not commit? I realized for the first time in my life that no one was ever truly safe in North Korea. We are nothing more than slaves for Kim Jong Un. We are all disposable, expendable, just like batteries to be thrown away when you stop. For the first time, anger and resentment against the regime filled my body. The bubble had burst, and what little hope that I had for the future of North Korea under the Kim regime vanished. I realized how desperate my country was in need of change. I couldn't deny that the privileges enjoyed by the elites came with unimaginable exposure to oppression, abuse, and countless executions, not only for individuals themselves, but also for 3 generations of their family. Realizing this paradox led me to doubt everything in my bubble, everything in my belief system, my hope, and even my identity as a North Korean. The question was, do I continue to live as a North Korean and ignore the tragedies, or abandon everything and plunge into a certain uncertainty of discovering the world beyond my bubble, whatever it might turn out to be? Right then and there, I chose to escape, to leave my accepted and certain past and jump head first to the unknown future. It was a very difficult decision for me and my family to give up all of our privileges, status, and our loved ones, and to move to a new country where we had to start with nothing. There are no guides. There are no guarantees of success. The possibility of failure and attempts on our lives was around at every corner. Imagine abandoning all that you know and love and starting all over thousands of miles away in the den of North Korea's eternal enemy, the United States, all because of something you heard from a Chinese taxi driver. I'm certain that many of you may have questioned the bubble you are in, seeing glimpses of life beyond the walls that were built to keep you safe, and wondering if you're on the right side. So many are born to circumstances beyond their control. Life has dealt them a crappy hand. For me, I ran into my Morpheus, who opened my mind to the certain truth of North Korea. With his pinprick during that cab ride, I realized that I was living in a bubble of artificial reality that had been carefully constructed for decades. With his pinprick, I took my first steps down the path out of my bubble in a search of a society that respects rights of people. Even at the expense of losing the privileges life as a North Korean elite, I believed with my life on the line that there had to be a better way. We cannot choose where we are born. However, we can choose how we respond to our circumstances. When we are willing to consider a reality outside of our own bubble, and when we embrace the discomfort and uncertainty, I believe we can discover important values for each of us and change the world a better place to live, that every human being in this world enjoys the universal values, freedom, and human rights. Thank you.